So this is Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. It is a sequel to Portable Ops. It was also originally a PSP game, but it's now been ported to the PS3 and 360. That is the version we will be looking at. It looks nicer, controls better, actually has online. Should also note that the majority of this game is co-op. These first two videos are single player only though, which is why it is just me here. Should note that these first two videos also will not have dual commentary. The rest will though, any co-op videos. And for some reason they want you to type in your name like it's an old cell phone? I don't get it. Whatever. This game also has a couple of different control schemes to pick from. You really want to use shooter type, because that's the one that makes it play like any other third-person shooter, or more like MGS4 at least. The other two aren't really needed anymore. They were more for the PSP, because the PSP only had one analog stick, which meant moving and also aiming was pretty tough to do.
Hey, boss! Wanna go around?
So you are probably wondering why Big Boss suddenly has a giant scar like the boss's on his chest. It will get explained. It's dumb. It's Metal Gear Solid. You should be used to this by now.
Look alive, ladies! The boss is gonna join us!
So this guy shouts a 10-minute long tutorial at you, so instead we're just going to skip to the new things.
Next, we're gonna practice using the stun rod. Hitting someone with the stun rod will shock them with 1.5 million volts. Anyone on the receiving end of that is guaranteed to be out cold. To use the stun rod, press the aim button to ready it, then press the attack button. You'll be glad to know we're using mock stun rods for this training session. When your partner attacks, make him believe it's the real deal. Prepare yourself for stun rod training.
So Kojima wanted a teen-rated Metal Gear game, so you don't have a knife in this game. Instead, you have a stun rod. There's also no blood.
Fine work, boss! Now we'll move on to CQC. CQC, or Close Quarters Combat, refers to when engaging an enemy in battle at very close range. It is a quick and efficient way of eliminating a threat. There are various CQC techniques. We will go over each of them.
I'm ready, boss.
So CQC's been changed up a little bit. At first it's the same. You can just do a normal ground slam if you're moving and press the attack button.
Impressive, boss!
You can also grab and restrain guys like
Fine
usual.
work, boss!
But now you can't move while holding them. If you press the direction, you throw them instead.
Impressive, boss!
This also means you can throw a man into another man.
Fantastic!
Also, if there are multiple guys and you do a ground slam, you can chain ground slams together. You aren't invulnerable while you do this, but it's still really handy.
Fine work, boss! And stop! That's it for today! Thank you, boss! Snake!
What's going on, Kaz?
We've got guests.
Time to move.
Don't worry, it's not our friends from Langley. I brought him. Made sure we won't follow.
Thank you, Big Boss.
Call me Snake.
Sorry, Vic Boss.
Listen up. For us, there is no victory.
But in Revolution, doesn't one triumph or die?
We don't do either.
Here.
Ah, thank you. I feel like a new man. There's no coffee like Costa Rican coffee.
So, what brings a distinguished scholar from the Costa Rican government to Colombia?
Professor Galvez comes from Costa Rica's University for Peace.
You see, over the past year, there have been sightings of an armed group in Costa Rica. They're not ours, of course.
Costa Rica doesn't have an army.
Correct. Article 12 of our Constitution states that the Army as a permanent institution is abolished.
The Peace Constitution.
You think it's rebels who fled Nicaragua?
No, they don't appear to be guerrillas. They're far too organized.
What's your government's take?
The authorities in San Jose claim it's a multinational security firm, hired by the Development Corporation of Costa Rica. Lies, obviously. They're bringing in state-of-the-art weaponry and equipment by the shipload.
Where'd they get that kind of cash?
I fear La CIA may be involved.
The CIA.
As you both know, the United States views Central America as its backyard. Even after Cuba, we've managed to maintain a delicate balance with the US.
And your government can't just give them the boot?
We are not allowed to bear arms.
Japan's constitution has something similar. Article 9. It says Japan renounces war and can't maintain an army.
I understand that you and your men have neither state nor ideology. that you will fight any foe. Please, you must drive them out of our defenseless country. We come to you, the Militaires Sans Frontières.
So, you want to hire us?
Yes, as our deterrent. We can't afford to pay much, it's true. But we can offer you this. A forward operating base. An offshore plant in the Caribbean.
Sounds pretty good to me. This place is becoming a mess anyway. Snake, we need someplace we can settle down.
The government's agreed to cooperate. Unofficially, of course.
A chopper for transport would be nice too.
I'll see what I can do.
Hold it. You seem to think we're just a pack of dogs of war. Is that right?
Yes, that's what I've heard. You're an army without a state.
No, we've only left our countries behind.
Please, you must help us.
If your suspicions are true, force isn't gonna do any good. You'll have to find a political solution.
The government's hands are tied.
Go back to your bosses in San Jose. Tell them if they want, I'll introduce them to a negotiator I know.
No, I'm not here on their behalf.
So, what are you doing here?
For over 20 years, I've preached the virtues of peace at multiple universities. Tonight, I stand before you as an educator. This is my student. She came to me to study peace. Her name is Paz. Paz Ortega.
Paz. Peace.
No kidding. That's my name too. Kazuhira. It's Japanese for peace. Pleased to meet you, Paz. Call me Kaz.
They've got a supply port north of Puerto Limon, a town in la Costa del Mar Caribe. A few days ago, Paz stumbled upon that facility while searching for a lost friend. She was captured. She's only a child, 16 years old. They did terrible things to her, but somehow she managed to escape.
Thank God.
She's huérfana. Her mother died when she was small, and she lost her grandparents in the Civil War. She hates war with a passion like no other.
My name is Paz, and I will do anything to protect my namesake. It is my one and only purpose. Please, get them out of my country. Make them leave Costa Rica.
Sorry, kid.
We know who you are, Big Boss. That is why we've come to you.
Miller here. Do you copy, Snake? I see you've landed. That makes one giant leap for us. I'm sending this from the offshore plant, our mother base. The signal is unidirectional. I'll be giving you commands and advice through this channel. Keep your headphones on at all times and pay attention. Also, make sure no one else can listen in. Snake, are you clear on the controls? Take a minute to refresh your memory. Use the left stick to move.
So this game controls almost exactly the same as Metal Gear Solid 4. However, you cannot crawl anymore. You can only go prone. There's also a ton of settings. Most of these were mainly for the PSP because since there was only one analog stick, you either had to aim with the D-pad or the face buttons, meaning aiming was just digital. It made aiming quite hard. This is probably the best improvement with the HD version of the game, is that you can just use the right stick. Snake also just kind of glides across the ground to make your aiming not jiggle as much. I think that was also something just for the PSP. The stun rod works on a battery, so you can't go crazy with it, but the battery does recharge even when you have it unequipped. You still have the tranq pistol as usual, but now you can only take one suppressor with you on a mission. So once your suppressor runs out, your gun's gonna be loud for the rest of the mission. You can't get another one mid-mission.
The Mark 22 tranquilizer gun can put enemies to sleep.
I turned auto-aim or aim assist off, but if you have it on, the cursor will automatically lock on to the head and limbs of enemies, which is marked by the X on the little scarecrow there.
Not enough room, huh? We'll keep it here at the base.
So the mother base does quite a few things in this game. The first one being, if you are already full of a certain type of item, instead of not being able to pick it up, you'll just send it back to mother base in a big stockpile. Got binoculars, you don't really need them. Since this was a PSP game, the maps aren't too big, so you can usually just spot stuff with a weapon if it has a scope.
Grenades explode. You throw them, Snake. Use the L1 button to ready throwing weapons. Once you've readied the weapon, throw with the R1 button. When using throwing weapons, hold the attack button down longer to throw farther. You won't throw the weapon until you let go of the button.
Well, thanks for LPing the game for me, Master Miller.
Snake, don't you think you could use a little more practice? I gotta thank you for agreeing to this, Snake. Man, am I glad to be out of here. Finally, we can leave all that crap in San Geronimo behind and break into the mercenary business for real. Let me guess. You're doing it for her, aren't you?